As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
I had to go with OU softball. Big game Tuesday night. Florida State, number 6, Florida State coming to town. They're really solid, and they gave OU a run for their money. Oklahoma had to come from behind. 5-4 victory. Jordy Ball had to come in with a little bit of relief action. I think it was the 4th inning. I think Oklahoma regained the lead at 5-4 and held on from that point on. But it was tough. Florida State pushed them, and they've had and will continue to have a really, really good non-conference schedule. So sellout crowd, place was packed. It just makes me super excited for whenever they get that new venue, man. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And, nice little I don't know if rivalry is the right word, but ever since the Danny Cannell tweet, right? It feels like OU and Florida State softball have a little friction when they meet.
Yeah. Yeah. And
which is fun.
That's good. That's good. Like, that's what we need. We need more friction out there, right? These, especially whenever you're talking about Oklahoma, I think it's like 22-1 now. And I think Florida State's got maybe 3 or 4 losses on the year, like 20-4, something like that. So you're talking about these high level teams, and anytime you can add any bit of fireworks to it with some trash talk, it just gives you more to talk about, man. Good stuff.
That's the stuff. And I love that Patty wants that team to get tested, man.
Yeah.
Because Big 12 softball is not other than, Oklahoma State and Texas, they've got some good teams in there, but it's not the SEC. So she wants to make sure that they get tested in the non-conference stuff. So nice win. All right. Who do you have as your loser of the week?
This happens to me all the time. I'm not sure who to classify necessarily as the loser. On this one, is it the PGA? Is it the professional golfers? Is it the fans? I don't know, but it sounds like the PGA is going to move forward with taking a little bit of pop out of the golf balls that they play in select tournaments. Like, I'm not sure what tournament it's going to be, but it seems like the powers that be have deemed 317 yards as the real absolute length that they would like players to play at. And they're going to regulate the golf balls, and the guys that hit it incredibly long are not going to have that edge anymore. I don't know why they're doing this. Like DeChambeau, right? Whenever he was hitting it, as far as he was, swinging out of his shoes and just blistering the ball, all in all, it didn't amount to much for him, right? I don't know how much he ended up gaining strokes on the field, or if he even did. Like, if he all of a sudden started winning every single tournament and no one else could catch him, you may have a problem on your hands. But I think it's really weird. I found this interesting. I was watching a TaylorMade thing the other day where all of the TaylorMade team were hitting drives, and Tiger Woods was hitting the new driver. Guess how far he was hitting it, Gabe? 317 yards.
Huh.
So, I think they may see that the youth is maybe running off and leaving some of the stars. And maybe this is a way to keep some of those stars a little bit more competitive for a little longer. I don't know. I don't know any other reason they would do it.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is they just don't want to have to make like 8,000-yard golf courses. You know what I mean?
That's true. We're running out of real estate.
Yeah, it's basically, hey, we're running out of space at some of these places with how good the equipment and the golf balls are and how good these guys are rotating, man. I mean, the swing speeds, all that, it's insane. But I don't think I'm really going to care if they deaden the golf ball a little bit. It's not going to change how I watch the sport at all. And the one thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they're going to change the golf ball for everyone. So won't the guys that are shorter hitters just want it just be a percentage thing where they're hitting it a little shorter, or is it they
I
can
don't
dial the
think
golf ball
so.
in to where it's like 317 is as far as that thing's going no matter what?
I, I'm not exactly sure, but I think there I think there's like it's like a compression thing. So I don't think that it hurts you until you're hitting it past that point. But
Gotcha.
football guy talking golf balls, okay? Take
Football
that for
guys
what it's
talking
worth.
physics.
Yeah, take that for what it's worth. I'm not exactly sure on that, but I think that may be the case, or else, like, what are we really accomplishing? All right, so I don't know.
Just so the USGA knows, the guys are just going to swing harder.
I know.
They're just going
Wow.
to learn to. They're just going to learn to hit it hard. Like, and I, because I assume there's like a certain club head speed, swing speed, like all that stuff, where they are predicting what this ball is going to do. Now, I'm just going down a physics rabbit hole. It's been a long time since I've done a physics problem, been since college, so I don't remember all of it, but usually when you change something, the best in the sport find a way to make the change
Yeah.
a little irrelevant.
Adapt, right? Adapt.
Correct.
So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we won't even notice. Maybe we won't care. Maybe we'll love it because, like I said, some of the guys that maybe can't just rip at 350 are able to compete a little bit more, makes the top way more competitive. So I don't know, but there's some players on the course that have dedicated a lot of time and effort and energy into hitting the ball really far. They're not happy about it.
And I get that. I
Right.
totally get that. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
John Vance Auto Group has been serving Oklahomans for 40 years, family owned and operated. They got 9 full service dealerships in Woodward, Miami, and Guthrie. No matter what your vehicle needs are, John Vance Auto Group has you covered. They carry domestic brands such as Ford, Lincoln, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, Jeep, and Wagoneer. John Vance Auto Group's goal is to give unequaled service and to exceed customers' expectations in every way, which is why they have their lifetime loyalty program. And here's how it works. You buy a new or used car from them. All you have to do is get all of the manufacturer recommended maintenance done at the Vance dealership. And if something goes wrong with the components of your engine, transmission, drive, axle, or transfer unit, they will cover the repair costs. It's a great deal. You can browse their entire inventory or find the John Vance dealership near you at vanceautogroup.com.
and First Fidelity Bank did not lose all of its people, all of their money this week. How about that?
That's shockingly, that's a great sign.
It's a great sign. First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all, whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone. Everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information. I just know someone's going to be like, well, actually, Gabe, the FDIC, they're going to step it. Yeah, I know. I can read. I'm not that dumb, but good people at First Fidelity Bank. How about that? All right. For my winner of the week, thought about going with Ole Miss. Now, I realized that people aren't going to be able to look at Chris Beard the same ever, right? With the domestic assault allegations, with those charges that were brought against him that, remember, they got dropped, and it was a charge that was dropped because the victim wanted it dropped. Right. From everything I can gather, like that's how that whole thing pretty much played out. But if you just remove that, and I know it's really, really hard to remove that with him now because we're all going to view him differently moving forward. But the damage is done to his reputation. He's got to live with that. But if you're Ole Miss, you just landed the best basketball coach in the history of the school.
Yeah.
And once again, you don't have to cheer for him. You don't have to hope he does well, but the guy took Texas Tech to the national championship game, and they probably should have won it. I mean, he has proven that he knows how to assemble a team and win games. I know that it feels like a very polarizing hire when you look at the media reaction to it. You look at social media and how people reacted to it, but winning can make a lot of things disappear. Like, it just makes people forget about stuff. And if you're an Ole Miss fan, you're looking at this going, well, it seems like he's going to win a lot of games. Once again, don't have to think he's a good dude. Don't have to forget the charges that were brought against him, but that they got dropped, and he's the head coach at Ole Miss, and I assume that fan base is very excited.
I guess if you're an Ole Miss fan, here's what you have to hope. You have to hope that, and I don't know, do you know what the final numbers were?
I didn't see a contract. Like, I didn't see a figure, but I guarantee you they're paying him.
I know they're going to be paying him well, but I'd be shocked if it was anything like the contract he had at Texas, right?
I agree with that.
So I guess what I'm saying is, if you're an Ole Miss fan, or maybe just a basketball fan in general, or just a person in general, maybe you have to hope that Chris Beard recognizes what a massive mistake he made, and Ole Miss is getting the best version of Chris Beard, like whatever that is, like knowing that he has to be better in whatever different parts of his life, and that's all going to carry forward. That's really all that you can hope, right? Guy made a huge mistake, cost him a ton of money at Texas. Now, I know he's getting it's going to be a nice contract at Ole Miss, but
and he's getting another opportunity right away.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess that's what you have to hope for, right? Is that he learned a lesson here, and he's going to be better, and you're going to get the best version of him. I guess that's the thing you have to hope for.
Yeah. No, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe this isn't the best way to put it, but like, hopefully he does his penance. I think it goes a long way when someone goes through an incident like this and then does some work, like talking about, does some work with some organizations that handle people that have been victims of domestic violence, like that type of stuff. And maybe none of those organizations want him involved, but yeah. I do think, I think putting the effort to do something like that would go a long way with a lot of people when it comes to his reputation and how people feel about him.
Well, I think that he just think that he needs to just handle himself like you would expect a Division I basketball coach, right? And I think if he's humble in that, if he recognizes it and is better moving forward, I think then we'll just look at this as a bad episode in Chris Beard's life. But, there is also the chance where he says, you guys can't touch me, right? Look what happened. I'm back. I'm going to go prove it to everyone. And there's been no change in the demeanor at all, which, sometimes that when people get off and I don't know if we want to say he got, like, call it whatever you want, but sometimes there aren't lessons learned if you're able to bounce back so quickly.
Yeah, I hear you. We'll see. But my winner of the week, the Oklahoma City Thunder. So went and watched the Thunder beat the Nets on Tuesday night. The squad has now won 3 in a row. They've won 6 of 7, Ted.
Let's go.
And let me tell you right now, there's some juice in the Paycom Center Tuesday night. Some juice.
That's what we want.
Few more fans starting to trickle in, fill those seats. Noise levels cranking up, baby. It's starting to feel a little familiar in there, and you love to see it, man. Thunder were great in the second half of that game, especially in the third quarter. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, very good at basketball. And I'll say, like, I know some people think he's some people that are saying, some of the national people are saying, oh, is the ab injury real? Man, he dove on the ball. He dove on the ball when it was on the floor and, like, got up, and he was down there fighting for it, and it was a jump ball situation. He got up and he was holding something.
Mhm.
like in his side or like around his ribs. So I do. He's playing through something, but he missed as many shots around the rim as I can remember him missing, and he still scored 35. Like it was, the guy is an absolute baller, man. I mean, he's an absolute baller. And then, is there any Jalen Williams stock left that I can purchase? I think I bought as much as I can.
Well,
The dude is incredible, dude.
if they make the playoffs or the play-in game, I think they're reissuing another round there for the to drive some additional revenue there. So yeah, there's going to be another round of stock purchases going on.
Yeah, 23 and 10 for Jalen Williams, and just being down there and watching him up close, that guy is playing with just an unbelievable amount of confidence. And when he gets downhill with the basketball in his hand, I mean, with his length and athleticism, everyone wants to talk about the dunks, but like just his first step, putting it on the deck, and when he's catching it, going downhill, dude. I mean, he is tough, tough. And
especially in the regular season where like when you've got a guy that's as athletic as he is, and we've seen this for a long time. Whenever he goes to the hole, everyone is like, not on me, right? And ducking out.
Nope.
But you know, those plays get more and more difficult as the games mean more and more. But
the
gosh,
thing about him though is he's physically strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember, he was an older guy coming out of Santa Clara. Like, he's an older rookie. He's not a 19-year-old kid.
Right.
Like, and that's the thing that stands out. Like, his strength and being able to play through contact and not being bothered by the level of physicality on the court. Like, who knows what happens in these last couple games, but dude, he's got a legitimate argument to be rookie of the year. I mean, legitimate.
Crazy. Impressive.
Paolo and Orlando, they ain't winning anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He's making a push. That's for damn sure. Dort, he should go 6 for 11 from 3 every night. That would be very helpful. My goodness, what he hit like 5 in the third quarter.
Yeah. You know, he is the 3-and-D guy that the Thunder fans have been asking for a long time. I mean, I'm saying like, if you can be up around that high 30-40% number and play the defense that he does, that'd take this team a long way.
And don't worry, I fixed Josh Giddey last night. Ted, he was not shooting the ball well. And he was visibly frustrated. I gave him the hey, next one's going in, Josh. He ends up hitting his last 3 or 4 shots of the game, and I was like, that was totally me. All me. All me. But
hey, keep that elbow in, you're fine.
It's like, you got it, man. You're frustrated. Hey, next one's going in, Josh. And ends up with the triple-double. He continues to impress, but Thunder currently the 8 seed in the West, man. Yeah. Well, technically a 3-way tie with the Mavs and Lakers, but the 8 seed, and hey, Luka and Kyrie keep missing games for the Mavs. LeBron is out for who knows how long with the Lakers. I'm trying not to get too excited, but I'm starting to sense we could be getting some playoff basketball in Oklahoma City, buddy. We could. I'm just saying we could. So I'm trying to stay level-headed about things, but it's fun, man. It's really fun.
I agree. And, you know, just like we talked about, I think they've got a good enough base. I think it's more important for this young team to go play some games with everything really on the line.
Yep.
And like right now, these games are starting to mean something and they're performing, and I'm sure they're getting a little bit of a attitude in the locker room and some energy and excitement and seeing that place come alive, you know? So I think that's way more important than, and I know a couple of slots in the draft could end up being everything, right? If you're 8 instead of 7 and Michael Jordan goes number 7, the future Michael, you know, I understand that could always, you know, be the ultimate thing. But at this point, I think it's more important for this team to start, you know, locking in on playing some really tough, gritty games that mean something.
Absolutely, man. I could not agree more. Let's go. All right, for my loser of the week, thought about going with the Memphis Grizzlies, man. The Ja Morant situation. Now, very glad that he is getting the help that he feels he needs, but when your star player, when you're the 2 seed in the West, and I know they've won a couple of games in a row without him, but when you're the 2 seed in the West and you're thinking, hey, maybe we could go to the conference finals this season. Hey, who knows? Maybe we could go to the finals. And your best player is checking into a counseling facility in Florida in the middle of March, and you got no timetable for his return. It's a bad situation, man. It's a bad situation there in Memphis.
Well, it is. We may enter a deflationary period in the economy, though, because the amount of cash they had to inject into the system for his strip club ventures, my goodness, that photo is something.
First of all, I don't know. What was it? Shotgun Willies? Do they just never want a big spender to come there ever again?
Well,
that seems very detrimental to your business model to be releasing photos like that. And I don't know who did it. But
I know that. Well, I guarantee they got paid for those photos.
There's no doubt. But
the point is relevant. Yes,
I think. I mean, it's almost. Did they not just kill their business?
I don't know.
Is it weird that was my first thought seeing the strip club photos? I wasn't worried about it. First of all, the first thought is, wow, look at all that cash. That's amazing. And then the second thought was, why would they do that? What? No amount of money from TMZ or whoever. I think Ja Morant's never going there again.
I think they feel strongly about their product. And I think that there's also a group that saw that and was like, I know where we're going tonight, So I don't know. I don't know how to take it, honestly, but you would think the high net worth individuals are maybe a little skeptical of the establishment now.
I will say this. In my NFL days, I was able to gather some information from some of the higher profile players that I was teammates with. Ja, you want to keep doing that? Just fly them in and have them come to the house, man. You got the money to do it,
that, right?
Just fly them in. There won't be any cameras, and you won't have to worry about it. Just bring everyone to the house. That's what I was able to gather from some of the franchise type players that I was around.
For him, much cheaper in the long run.
Correct.
To do it that way.
Yes. Yes. All right. But for my loser of the week, I'm going with the New York Jets, man. And it hasn't happened yet. Maybe it'll happen here right after we get done recording. But Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Jet, right? He's going to be a Jet. But this whole wish list before I sign, what was it? And Diana Rossini reported that he has provided the Jets with a wish list of free agents. Randall Cobb, who's like my age, Alan Lazard. Now they already signed Alan Lazard, gave him a solid contract, and he was good last year for the Packers. But Mercedes Lewis is like 38 or 39. Odell Beckham Jr. When's the last time we saw him on a field? Are these the guys that are going to get them over the hump in the AFC East? I don't know, man. This whole thing is starting to feel like it's got disaster written all over it for me.
Well, here's the benefit. For most of these guys, they're not going to cost hardly anything.
But they cost you a roster spot.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. If the offensive line is healthy and they're good on the offensive line, they've got some good players there. You give him whoever he wants. You want Randall? I think that part matters less, but if he's in the locker room with just a bunch of his buds, like that's kind of really what you got to worry about, right? Is that this is just screw around time, you know?
It's just straight. We just don't
Yeah.
see it, right?
Mm-mm.
I mean, the guy's not even on the team yet. And he's like, this is who I want. And I guess with what the Jets went through with their quarterback position last year, they're probably like, hey, man, whatever you want.
I
But
bet whenever he was like, I've got a list of free agents that I'm not coming unless you sign. I bet they're like, oh my God, this is going to be brutal. And then it's like Randall Cobb, Mercedes. Like,
they're like,
oh,
deal.
okay. Oh yeah, we can handle that.
But I don't know. What is he, like 40? And I know, hey, the way that Tom Brady has played over these last 4 or 5 years, it's kind of just changed everyone's thinking about what
Yeah.
quarterbacks are capable of in that age range. But I don't know, man. It feels off to me.
I'll tell you this. If they can protect him, he will absolutely slice up the league. If they can protect him. If they can't protect him, he will become very average very quickly. He can't move like he used to. Like he used to be able to move and get outside, and he can still do some of that, but not anywhere like he could before. But if you give him the pocket, he will slice him up.
He can sling it. But I mean, you look at Buffalo. I just, I'm skeptical. I'm a little skeptical, just a
Why
little
would
bit.
you be skeptical of the Jets?
I don't know. It's like you bring it in this dude. He's like, I want this, and oh yeah, can I get like a ayahuasca hut in the facility also? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like a legit sauna, not a none of this sauna with a oven in it. I want the legit stones and a fire.
yeah. I want to go on a spiritual journey. Oh,